There'd be a lot of poop in my hands. I've seen a 6-foot alligator go swinging through the air and slam into a tree.
These guys are the scientists of the supernatural, lecturers leaving lessons for inquiring laymen. They are applying the scientific method to a world that baffles science. They are the cryptids of the corn.
But who else has big black wings and red eyes?
Batman.
Oh, Mothman.
Oh yeah, Mothman.
A great white shark was stolen.
Oh, someone stole a shark?
I got stuff for you don't even know about.
She's a witch. She turned me into a newt.
Who knows? Anything could be possible. Anything could be possible.
It's really big abduction vibes.
Holy moly.
It sounds like you were abducted.
And it just stood up. I mean, it just like kept going and going. And she goes, what the?
Oh, we need a camera on us.
Hello, and welcome back to Cryptids of the Corn podcast. I am the great and powerful mystery.
I am J87-A.
Together, we have an amazing episode. So once again, we have another Wednesday short episode. We'll see how actually short it is. But we're going to talk about the ABCs of the UK.
Ooh, a Wednesday ABC UK.
Mm-hmm. So what are the ABCs? Is this how to travel in Europe? Is this how to kind of get around and enjoy your time?
I think you might be a little off there.
Oh, I'm a little off, huh?
Yeah, for once. No, it's the alien black cats.
Yes, and we're not going to strictly talk about alien black cats, but that's a big proponent of today.
Okay.
Just big cats of Europe more.
Big cats of Europe.
This is really fun because there's a lot of people that are like, no, they don't happen, nothing like that.
What?
In Europe.
What, big cats?
Yeah, they're like, oh no, like there's none. So I just want to, so in the U.S., the continental U.S., we have around 3,000 Bigfoot sightings a year.
Okay.
The UK,
Which
has
is just the UK or
the
Europe?
UK
Okay.
has 2,000 black cat sightings a year.
In a much smaller area.
Yes.
Much, significantly smaller.
And it's really weird that there's a question. So a really, really good website is bigcatsuk.org.
That's pretty specific.
But they're a research group, and they kind of talk about, like, so we're going to use their front page article for this because they do a really nice job of kind of explaining what they think is the main cause of the phenomena.
Okay.
But it's really good. And I agree with them for the most part.
Okay.
I don't know who the researchers are in this group, but they do a pretty good job. The website's streamlined, easy to use, pretty straightforward. Gives you recent accounts and photo evidence.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I have for you attacks on people.
Attacks on
Yeah.
people? What do you mean attacks?
Like big cat attacks in Europe.
Oh, attacks. Okay. I thought you said like...
Attacks.
Like attacks, like a
Oh,
state...
that happened too.
What, they're taxing people?
Yeah, but that's the first thing we're going to talk about is attacks and then attacks.
This
and
is
then,
confusing.
And then big cats that have actually been killed and caught in Europe.
Oh, okay.
Or the UK.
Anyone got like a black... You know what? Does anyone have like a big, not like a puma or anything like that, but like an out of place, ABC, alien black cat? Has anyone ever caught one and like took its pelt and have it hanging in their house or something?
Well, let's talk about that later.
Oh, wait, are you just like trying to ignore my question or
No.
Or will that actually come up later?
Basically, that'll come up later.
Okay. That'd just be funny.
Very similar thing will come up later.
Ooh, let's talk about that later. And
Never come back to it. That has happened before in the past. So this website starts. Throughout history, there have always been a small but steady number of big cat sightings in the UK. However, in the past few decades, specifically the 1970s and on, there have been thousands and thousands of sightings. So now it's me talking. In 1976, there was a really stupid law rolled out.
In the UK?
In the UK.
Okay.
One of many. It's called the Dangerous Wildlife Act, or the DWA. Now, listen, I've had interesting and what some could say dangerous wildlife in my past. And I always followed the rules and stuff like that. Some animals I do think you should have permits for. I don't think anything should ever be flat out outlawed.
Oh, as far as owning?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I do think, like, let's say you do want a big cat. A big cat enclosure cost, like an actual big cat enclosure with space for them and stuff like that costs 25 grand.
Jeez.
The feed, you got to remember, this is a predator.
Yeah.
They're eating nothing but meat. They're eating a big meal every 2 to 3 days. So I do think the permit should be 15 grand. And that shows that you have the financial capital
to take care of it.
That's for the animal's safety.
Right. For properly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, a reptile, that's a much lower financial capital investment.
Right.
So then, I think there should be lines, but they flat out outlawed big cats.
My grandma, her neighbor, when I was a kid growing up, used to have a mountain lion as a pet, and he'd keep it in my grandma's barn, and it was only there for like half a year. It wasn't there long.
Well, there was some big cats here owned in Ada at the Ada Zoo.
Really?
Yeah.
Were they mountain lions?
Probably.
Okay.
Because he had a bunch of black bears. He had a grizzly.
Where was that?
Yeah. You know where Tommy Tire is?
Yeah.
Everybody, you can Google Tommy Tire. Free advertisement. No, it's right there.
Oh, okay. Where they put that new storage shed unit?
No, right where Tommy Tire was.
Oh, Tommy Tire built over it. Okay. Okay.
It hadn't been there forever, but you remember the big, long metal buildings that used to be there?
No, I can't really.
That's what the zoo was in.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I never went there. That's funny.
So 1976, Dangerous Wildlife Act specifically was targeting big cats, hyenas, mostly European and North American megafauna.
Okay.
Specifically, though, aimed at big cats. This act listed animals that would require very, very strict permits and extremely expensive licenses to be kept privately. Here's the problem is there's no grandfather clause. So here in the U.S., most of these wildlife acts have a grandfather clause.
What, if you already have it?
So let's say, like, for example, green anacondas are outlawed in Ohio, kinda. There's kind of some gray area with them. But big green anacondas are outlawed.
Okay.
If you already had a big green anaconda, you're allowed to keep your animal. No permitting needed, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But you can't get more. You can't add, you can't keep adding.
Right.
You have your animals that you have, and when they pass or you sell them, that's it.
You're done.
Yeah. So this was not doing that. It was very retroactive.
Okay.
And they spent the early 70s kind of getting a list of who had these cats secretly.
Like Tiger King.
Kind of, but these are more people that have a cat or a couple cats.
Gotcha.
And they've spent the first, like, in the 90s, basically they wanted to tax these guys out of existence.
Okay.
And let's say you couldn't afford the extremely expensive licenses to keep them. There was still a fee for them to take them from you.
Really?
Yes. So
people are
you're
just
paying a buttload of money either way, whether you're keeping your cat or you're not keeping your cat. You have to pay a buttload of money.
Was it they trying to just get them all killed? Because
No.
that's probably what happened, right?
No, they were trying to get money. Whole act was just to get money.
Okay.
And to help limit the number of animals after this event.
Big cats in captivity.
What the act did accidentally was 90% of people just opened their cages
And let them go.
and let them go.
Yeah.
Instead of many owners deciding to hand over their pets to the government or pay the extraordinarily expensive licensing, they just let them go into the wild.
Yeah, because what was the government going to do with them?
They were going to send them back to, like, sanctuaries and stuff like that.
Yeah, right. They were going to kill them.
They had areas for them to go. They were just going out of country.
I'm sure they did.
It was impossible to know how many of these cats were set free. Some estimates put them in the hundreds of cats or more. Others put them quite over 10 to 15,000 animals being released in a couple months.
Oh, no wonder why there's so many sightings a year.
Yeah.
This is all kind of making sense.
The founding stock. So this is from a lion tamer named Lisa. She's previously admitted to releasing cats in Derbyshire countryside near Snake Pass. Fellow big cat owner Lewis, who kept animals for Leslie, also revealed that the friend of his in Conterver had set a panther loose in Nottinghamshire area in 1974.
A panther.
Mr. Foley said he knew about the new laws and didn't want to put the money down or the animals down. At the time, an RSPCA spokesman said that these two people had not broken any laws. Or
As far as owning the cats or letting them go?
Or owning the cats.
Okay.
this is because it's only became illegal to release the cats. It only became illegal to release wild animals into the countryside in the 1980s.
Oh, so at the time it wasn't illegal.
Mm-hmm. In 2006, the Dartmoor Zoo owner, Benjamin, admitted that the zoo released black panthers into the surrounding areas in the 1980s. Recently, it was revealed that a circus owner named Mary released 3 pumas into the wild. And after her Plymouth Zoo was forced to close in 1978, she reported she couldn't see them to go to a new home, so she released even more cats.
Oh, man.
Do you have any questions of why there's big cat scene in the UK?
And
So far.
Yeah, I mean...
There's no reason.
Yeah.
Like, this is one, like, I get black panthers, in the U.S., for example.
Mm-hmm.
Why some people question it and stuff like that. Most people don't realize that I think they're jaguars, first off.
That things used to be native here.
Yes. But most people don't realize that they went, they were extirpated in the early 1800s.
Yeah.
And they were never in very high numbers here in the U.S. Big cats aren't ever in high numbers besides some lions and stuff like that. Pride animals are a little different than these solitary big cats. So they wiped out really quick. And then the puma, the mountain lion, took their spot. Mm-hmm. And so there just was nowhere to move back into.
Gotcha.
I get why it's an issue in the U.S. to believe in a big black cat. The UK, I just read to you, people that have admitted, and the zoo owners, exotic cat breeders, are like, yeah, from 1971 to 1985, I probably released 50 or 60 cats.
Yeah, which it's insane
so that
if you
zoo,
think about
Mary
that.
that ran that zoo,
Yeah.
released every juvenile cat they produced into the wild because they weren't allowed to be breeding cats, but they didn't stop them from breeding.
Wow.
No vet really wanted to go fix that cat.
No, probably not. I wouldn't want to. Screw that.
And then big cats are notorious for shaking off anesthesia pretty quick.
I was going to say, you might need to get it super drunk or something first.
So far, any reason why you wouldn't think there's...
Well, I mean, there shouldn't be cats there. I mean, any cat released in the wild in England probably will die the next day of starvation or something crazy, So there shouldn't be any cats there.
And before I move on, you made me laugh. Before I move on, wallabies, an Australian marsupial, has 3 different breeding populations that have just recently been documented in the UK.
Just in the UK?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
They found a colony of 4,000 or 5,000 wallabies.
Dang.
In Scotland, in an area nobody goes.
Yeah.
They finally walked over a hill and were like, what are these big rabbit-looking things?
Yeah.
They're all wallabies.
That's crazy.
So an Australian mammal survives in the UK.
Well, I guess Australia has all the seasons. So does the UK. So why wouldn't it?
The UK, I'm sorry, all our UK listeners. I know we got a handful of you guys. Your winners are pansies.
I thought they were more north than us.
It doesn't matter because the warm Atlantic current, the ocean keeps them warmer in the winter than we have the cold Atlantic current.
Yeah.
So, even though they're more higher up than us, they're still a lot warmer than us in the winter.
Okay.
Their really bad winter is probably a medium Ohio winter.
Oh, okay.
They haven't had an ice storm.
We might have to fact check that. Maybe.
I'm not joking.
Or our UK listeners, give us your.
But that's why
average.
the UK is rainy, warm constantly because of the ocean currents.
So I mean, yeah, they should be able to thrive there.
Yeah, there was, for example, panthers live all the way up through Canada.
Yeah,
and do quite well.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like we covered last week on Wednesday short episode. Hyenas used to live in the UK
and do quite well here.
Yes, yeah, they're here. So it's just crazy to me that this is even a topic. Wait until we get to the governments they don't exist.
Yeah, because they are the ones responsible for having people release them all.
It's I really fully believe that the UK government was like, this is going to be the best way for us to make money off these stupid exotic animal people.
Yeah.
And then exotic animal people are like, F you.
Oh, shoot. We didn't close that loophole.
But no, there was all these guys that were the enforcement officers. I read testimonies being like, yeah, we knew, we spent 4 years gathering intel of who all owned big cats in the countryside. They knew who all owned big cats.
Yeah.
Because this was all a plan to get this money.
Mm-hmm.
When they went to enforce it, all these people had empty cages.
Yeah.
I'm like, where's your cats? Never owned any.
Yeah, exactly.
Where's your cats? Never owned it. These are rabbit cages.
Yeah.
Big
rabbit cages. Yeah. Big populations of rabbit breeding going on over here.
So this article goes on to say, big cats became established in the UK in these cats and many others that may believe have established small breeding populations in the countryside. Well, at first, this might seem rather unlikely. It is important to note that leopards, panthers, the cats described in most sightings are very shy and seldom seen. We've talked about it before. I know a big cat researcher that had a tag, a radio collar, on a mountain lion and never found it again.
Right, yeah. That's so nuts. You know it's right there.
And she got 30, 40 feet away from it several different times and never seen it again. It is important. Oh, okay, I already said that. In fact, despite living very close to villages in India and other natural habitats with a lot of locals, they spend their whole life without seeing them in the wild. So there's actually more jaguars living in the Indian cities than in the wild.
Really? In the cities?
Yes.
How do they know this?
Huh? Because they did population estimates. It's a really crazy study. That's a whole different episode.
Okay.
But they mostly survive off of stray dogs. And like every alley has a jaguar. Or
Jeez.
a leopard, I'm sorry.
That's scary. Imagine walking home late at night.
Oh, they have so many leopard attacks.
Is that video that guy running down that hallway?
That's a cheetah.
Okay.
That's in India too, but that's a cheetah.
That's so scary. That's like fear embodied in a GIF.
With the vast amount of British countryside, a plentiful supply of prey animals, and no natural predators, it's possible that Britain could sustain a quite healthy breeding population of big cats. Mm-hmm. So there are deer that are native, and there are deer that aren't native in the UK currently. Like we said, there's tons of small mammals. Badgers. Badgers are like rabbits over there. And the European badger and the North American badger are very different animals.
Oh, really?
People kind of think of them as the same thing. Their behaviors, everything's very, very different.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. Over there, they're much more like, they have a much high, like, one farm could have 100 badgers.
What, are they more docile or what?
They're smaller. They're a little more docile. They're not these big predators that we think about here in the U.S.
Yeah, they're mean here.
Yeah.
Like, really mean.
If you see these cats out there, if people see these cats out there, why hasn't the government made us aware of it? Well, there are a few possibilities to explain this. First of which is simply because they don't want the panic that would resolve this could cause.
Right.
Also, if the government confirmed the existence of these big cats, we could see groups of people heading off to catch and kill these so-called beasts. They would also possibly have to compensate farmers and livestock owners for kills that are suspect of cats.
Why would the government have to compensate?
Because the government caused this.
In a way, a sense, I guess.
What do you mean in a way or sense?
I mean, they didn't tell people to release them. I mean, I get they caused it. I know they did.
But keep in mind, it wasn't illegal to release your cats. So you pretty much gave them two options. You're paying, I think it was like $25,000 per cat per year. Mm-hmm. You're paying $15,000 for us to get rid of your cat. Mm-hmm. Or you're releasing your cat.
Right, yeah.
The government caused it.
No, I guess so. There should be more insurance or something that should cover it. Not government. I don't know. Maybe I'm just seeing this weird.
So the article ends with, not everyone is so convinced. However, there are people who disagree with this theory. Critics ask, why haven't we had any carcasses or skeletons of these animals being found? And how are these animals not being seen on the daily basis like foxes and badgers? That is the stupidest. We'll come back to that.
I feel like
my blood pressure has risen already. So she answers it, but I'm going to do it for you. Mm-hmm. For example, a bobcat here in the U.S., which they have, we're going to talk about Canadian lynxes, for example, in UK, which is the cousin of the bobcat. They're subspecies of each other. They have a home range of 150 square miles.
Okay.
That means there's one cat.
Every 150 square miles?
There could be.
Okay.
There may be even bigger distances.
Okay.
That means this one cat lives its life in this 150 square miles.
Okay.
So one 50-pound animal. And so why aren't badgers and foxes seen? Like I just said, one farm may have 100 badgers. One farm may have 200 foxes. One farm may have 1% or may have one cat visit their property twice a year.
Okay.
So, yeah, no wonder you don't see them very often.
150 square miles is a pretty big area.
Pumas and jaguars and leopards have a much larger home range than that.
Did you ever, this is kind of side tangent, but kind of it ain't, but that coyote, did you hear about that? I think we talked about that.
Yes.
They
went like 500 miles.
Had the collar on him?
Yeah.
Did you know it was someone we know that did that put the collar on it?
Don't admit that on air.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm not going to say his name or
You're
nothing.
not allowed to tag wildlife.
Well, so he actually told me about it, and he's like, he actually had a officer show up at his house and say like, okay, because obviously they knew he did it because he put his name and number
on it, yeah.
which is fine because, and he's like, oh, it's illegal. They're like, yeah, it's illegal. Like it's against like whatever. He's like, okay, well, can you show me where it is illegal? Like, can you show me where it says it written down in the stats or like whatever you call it? And they're like, well, we don't know where it is. He's like, oh, so it's not illegal. Like, I don't know. There's like a gray area, but
Now, it's first off, it's in the fishing and trapping guide. I've seen it.
yeah,
It is illegal. It says plain Jane
yeah,
that it is illegal to put basically your own tags on wild animals.
yeah, yeah. That's the thing. He didn't like chip it or nothing.
It doesn't matter. So why they do that is because it can prevent the animal from hunting properly and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like it's really a detriment to the animal more than anything.
Right, which makes sense. Makes sense. I just thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah, but no, it is illegal. I can show them where.
Okay.
The DNR officers are. It's to know every law and
Right.
where it is. It can be very difficult. I do remember that in the trapping guide though. Where it says
Gotcha.
you're not allowed to put your own tags on animals because people used to do that to find groups of animals.
Aha. Okay.
Anyways,
fun
back to
tidbit.
this. Yeah, so why won't we find carcasses? We've covered this in several episodes about Bigfoot and other cryptids.
And Bigfoot and then natural animals too, like bear. And,
That's what I was about to get to.
Yeah.
There's the grizzly bear guy, and I should have looked up the county before the episode, but he works he's been there for 30 years in Alaska, and the highest concentration of grizzly bears on the planet. It's only ever found 2 or 3 carcasses,
in his life.
and one of them had a tracker on it.
That's nuts.
And he said there was around, what was it, 100 animals die a year,
Yeah.
and it's
And you only find 3 in your life, in your whole career?
Yeah, big cats. I don't know of anybody finding big cat bodies here in the U.S. Big cat researchers and stuff like that. You don't find them unless they get hit by a car.
True, yeah. Yeah, because, I mean, what's big cat's biggest predator, I guess?
Nothing.
Right, exactly. So
Canids will harass them, specifically wolves.
wolves,
But it's not even. I wouldn't say a predation thing.
yeah. It's
It's-
more just territory thing.
They'll harass them to get a free meal
Yeah. Okay.
because the big cat will just kill something because big cats have a much higher success rate in kills than canids do.
So, I mean, if one dies, it's going to probably be dead,
Way back in a hole somewhere.
yeah, on its own terms or
Yeah.
its own, yeah.
So and then they're so shy.
Yeah. Like you said, like the one with the collar.
And there's never such a thing as a domesticated big cat. Even house cats put into the wild will hunt efficiently
Yeah.
and survive on their own.
I mean, look at Siegfried and Roy. They had a big cat. They thought it was trained.
So why don't you see fox?
clawed
Why
his
don't you see
face
these
off.
big cats like foxes and badgers? Because they are much lower in number. They're much more shy. You don't find their carcasses because you don't find the carcasses of big animals.
No, you don't.
Everybody gets this idea because you see dead deer on the side of the road and stuff like that. Carcasses are easy to find in the woods. They are not. If an animal does not get hit, you will not find its body
And then you got to find it quick enough
before the scavengers pull it apart.
Right, exactly. So you might find bones. Maybe. You still got to be early to find them.
Yeah, before they get pulled apart far enough where you may have walked up on a deer or a big cat carcass and be like, "This is a deer."
Right, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it could be.
If you don't see a skull, you really don't know.
Exactly.
And there is a European wildcat. It looks kind of similar to a house cat. It's called it's called the European wildcat or the Scottish Highland cat.
Oh, I think I've seen these before.
Yeah, they will rip you up.
I got to look
They
this up
attack
now.
a lot of people because people think they're house cats,
Uh-huh.
and they're like little bobcats
Scottish Highland cat, you said?
or European wildcat. Just look that up.
Okay.
Felis serverless.
Never mind. I was going to say, we sound that out one more time so I can spell it, but...
Yeah, right. Scientific names aren't phonetical.
Oh, I know. Okay, there it is. Oh, okay, so it just looks like
It looks like a house cat,
like a big house cat.
and it will rip you apart.
Yeah, it looks like one of those mean, like, feral house cats that
Yeah.
we got running around here.
But this is fully wild.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, how about some big cat attacks in the UK?
Okay.
So
Okay, does it have, like, a statistic how many times it happens a year?
no, I just got some. I got a group of
Okay.
of attacks.
So it's not like a common thing. It's not really
once
common.
a year,
Oh, okay. So it's very uncommon.
mostly
But it
on
happens.
kids.
Yeah, okay. Well, have you seen those videos of, like, I've seen videos here, like, kids will get attacked by cats and stuff. Just, like, like stray cats go and attack little kids.
Yeah, this is a little bit different.
Oh, I bet. But I can't imagine a big cat.
For example, I'd only pick the ones that have happened since 2000.
Okay, so recent.
Yeah, including like a couple years ago.
Okay.
In 2000, an 11-year-old boy in Monmouthshire. You guys in the UK name your stuff. I don't understand it.
Hey, we came from there.
Was attacked by what he claimed was a large black cat. It left 5 long claw marks across his left cheek. The police called in a big cat expert to investigate the incident. This cat was never found, but the basically the claw marks on the boy were way too big to be a house cat.
Yeah. That's
And it seems like
well, what the kids say got him.
a big black cat. The kid was saying a big black cat jumped me.
Yeah.
And he's 11 years old. What it looks like happened was that the big cat was cornered and was just running past him and like struck at him to get him out of the way.
Yeah. Kind of like you see the people when they're walking down that hallway and a cat's waiting there.
Or
And you just walk
No,
right
you ever
by it
seen
and
that-
it reaches out and
that couple with the grizzly bear, or not the grizzly bear, the black bear, and it's like cornered and they don't realize it's there, and it runs between them and knocks them both over.
Oh, no, I don't think so.
That's what happened here, is what I think. I think he accidentally had it cornered, and it was back
Fled.
against the wall, so it got
Fled
out.
and lashed out.
Yeah, but it didn't hurt him.
Right.
More than it really could have.
It struck him.
It could have taken him with it.
Oh, yeah.
In 2005, a man who lived in Sydenham Park in southeast London was attacked in his back garden, which backed into a railway line. The man, who was 6 foot and weighed 15 stone for us English listeners, or for us American listeners, that's 210 pounds.
Okay.
Described a cat that was extremely big, black. It pounced on him and was considerably stronger than he was. He was left with scratches all over his body. Police were called, and according to the BBC, one police officer saw the cat the size of a Labrador dog. The man who was attacked sustained scratches on his face that were alleged from the big cat, and it became known as the Beast of Sydenham.
It's like the black shuck.
Yeah,
Is that get called? Is one of these get blamed as the black shuck?
I don't think so.
Okay, that's England, right?
England, Scotland, most UK.
UK. Okay, thought so.
2008, there was a report of a 74-year-old woman was attacked on 2 separate occasions by a large cat
Worst luck in the world.
in Anlis, Scotland Highlands, leaving her with injuries. But Scottish wild cat experts conclude that it was most likely a large, frail domestic cat,
Yeah.
possibly a hybrid of the Scottish wildcat, but ruled out the Scottish wildcat itself being responsible for the attack. So this lady was knocked down and almost dragged into the bushes twice.
Jeez. What bad luck.
Well, no, it's because the cat was probably watching her, knew she was weak. Like it was in her own backyard in the Highlands.
So it was targeting her?
Yeah.
And just waiting it.
And then she
it
got attacked.
failed twice.
Nobody believed her the first time. Everybody thought she fell.
Yeah.
The second time, she literally was getting dragged into the bushes.
Someone maybe saw
And then
her.
they said it was a wild cat. So the Scottish Highland cat, the wild cat, is like 20 pounds on the big side.
Okay. So it's still not that big.
Dragging off a 74-year-old woman into the bush. It's not funny, but I just think it's funny that there's an big cat. Yeah, probably a domestic wild cat.
Yeah. Scottish wildcat.
Yep.
Yep.
Dragging
Case
a
closed.
74-year-old woman into the moor.
That's freaking scary.
My last one for you is in 2019, a man in Conwell reported that a 6-foot black cat attacked him through an open window and that it was trying to get him through the window. He described it as being a cross between a domestic cat and a panther. He said it was said to have a report to the police and claimed that they were not interested. So this man was cut up, and he said that he was on, like, it was in his window. It grabbed him through the window and was trying to pull him through the window.
Is this cat behavior?
Big cats, yeah, sure.
They'll do that? Like pull you through a window?
If they're hungry enough, or they're very opportunistic. So if it thinks they can grab him and pull him through real quick, yeah, bet your butt it would.
That's... Imagine like doing your dishes, you know.
That's why I imagine he's in the kitchen, turn around,
and run through his window.
and then you call the police.
And
He's cut up. I've seen the pictures of this one. He's cut up.
Yeah.
He's got all this injury. He calls the police, and they say they're not interested in ghost stories.
Yeah. You know what? I'm not interested in this one. Have a good day. Bye. Imagine the click in the dial tone, and the guy just standing there on the phone, covered in
in blood.
and guts. Not
He can see the cat on the back of his property pacing.
Yeah.
He's like, please, somebody with they don't. The police don't even have guns.
They don't, do they?
No.
Yeah.
You think about this happening in America, there'd be a lot more dead black cats.
Oh yeah, exactly. I just imagine though. Yeah, we're not interested. Bye.
I can fully see it. I can see a cop here doing that.
Oh yeah, me too.
I can see the Ada Police Department being like, depending on which cop you get.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You sure it was a dog? Tell me it was a dog. We'll send somebody. No, it was a cat. All right. Have a good day.
Yeah. Bye. Click. Who was that, George? Some wacko.
Drunk.
Yeah.
He got attacked by his house cat and wants us to come shoot it.
Yeah.
As you can literally hear a panther trying to claw through the back door.
Not interested.
All right. So here's the thing for you. What if I told you a lot of dead cats have been killed or found in the UK?
Oh, really?
Yeah. To completely contradict, the government says, no, there's no bodies being found.
Yeah.
What if I told you I have a whole list?
With one of the best savings rates in America, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than choosing Slash to be in your band.
Next up for lead guitar. You're in.
Cool. Yep, even easier than that. And with no fees or minimums on checking and savings accounts, is it even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One N.A. member FDIC.
Well, how many are composed on this list, and since from when to when?
Like a dozen. Well, let's go over it.
Okay.
A puma was captured in the wild in Invershire near Loch Ness in the 1980s.
Oh, nice. Okay.
A puma.
That's awesome. I mean, not awesome. That I would be scary, but
he lived. So they caught it alive.
Okay.
He lived the rest of his life in a zoo.
Cool. Well, kind of cool.
Well, I mean, he lived a good life. He lived a full lifespan for a big cat, for a puma. The government said he was a released or abandoned pet.
Makes sense.
So they taxidermied him after he passed away in the zoo as a display. So his teeth wear upon capture suggested that he did live a life of captivity.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So how about a jungle cat?
What would that be considered, I guess? Or,
Imagine a bigger bobcat. So we're talking about like a 75-pound cat.
okay.
So, yeah.
So it could be a hybrid of something, or...
No, they have the animal.
Okay. It's just, they
was
just called it
killed-
a jungle cat?
That's the species name.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Felis chilensis.
Okay.
Jungle cat. It is a species.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, sorry. It was killed because it got hit by a car on Highland Island. It's like a 75-pound bobcat.
Dang.
A Canadian lynx was shot in Dover in 1903. Analysis says this is another one that shows it was probably in captivity due to the teeth wear.
Now, lynx aren't that big, right? Like, they're decent size, but they're not like big cats, right? Lynx?
They get 50 to 70 pounds.
Oh, they do? Okay.
They'll kill you.
I didn't know they were that
They will
big.
kill you.
They got the cool ears, right?
Yeah. And the big snowshoes.
Yeah.
Another puma was caught outside of Scotland 2 years after the first one.
Oh, wow. What'd they do with this one?
This one went to a different zoo in England.
They taxidermy this one too? Or I don't know.
No, it doesn't look like it.
I don't know why I thought of this, but side tangent. Is it like legal? I mean, I'm sure it's legal, but to taxidermize like your house pet, your dog, your cat. Do you know people that have done it?
There's a company here in Ohio that will do it for you.
Really? Do you know anyone personally that's done it?
Not personally, but I was at a house in Michigan and she had her dog taxidermied.
Was it weird?
No, they didn't make it weird.
Okay.
They treated it more like a statue. They
Okay.
didn't talk to it. You know, it's different. Even like,
one last question. I'm sorry I'm on this, but was its eyes opened or closed?
open. It looked like a very well done statue.
Interesting.
And it was just it was a lab, and it was kind of in that position where they're looking up at, labs kind of have that goofy look.
Yeah.
And it was in the corner, and they only made one mention of it once.
Like there's, I don't know, Sherry over there in the corner. That's it. Huh. Okay. I just thought of that with the big cat.
I could see it being made really weird, though.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So in 1991, a Eurasian lynx was shot near Norfolk.
Norfolk.
No.
Okay.
Norfolk.
Norfolk. Norfolk.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
It had killed around 15 sheep in 2 weeks.
Ooh.
So this, you know why this lynx killed so many sheep? Because there's people chasing it. And that's what we found mountain lions and stuff do. When animals are chasing them, they think they want food from them. So they start killing extra prey to leave behind.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There was also another story reported in 2003, and a stuffed body of a lynx is now possessed for the collection after this one was killed. For many years, the incident was considered to have been a hoax that they just produced a dead body of a lynx.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Not that it was actually there roaming the countryside, killing sheep.
But a hunting community in March 2006, they had a police report of a case that was true. It was a probable escape from a facility near an area that bred the animals, including Eurasian lynx. So they shot another one in 2006. So they shot one in 91, 2003, and 2006.
But it escaped from a facility that was breeding them?
Yes.
So they're back at breeding cats.
No, like a zoo. This is what they mean.
Still, wouldn't the zoo have to pay those fines and stuff?
No, a zoo's under different a different rule.
Oh, so that was just backyard.
Yeah,
you know,
it was to get rid of exotic animals in like backyard communities.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, well, that clears things up a little bit.
Yeah, because most zoos are part of like the Noah's Ark Foundation and stuff like that.
Okay,
so they have different permittings for breeding different animals.
So even then, like this escaped from there. They're saying, right?
All three of these big cats, all three of these lynxes, they think escaped from this zoo.
And they still are claiming, yeah, these things aren't here when they're actively still breeding them, producing them in this country, and they're escaping. Like it's documented right here.
In 1994, it was reported that a large cat with a leopard-like pattern of fur had been shot on the Isle of Wight sometime earlier after feasting on hundreds of chickens and ducks. The shooting was not immediately reported as the farm worker involved feared prosecution. But police reportedly concluded the animal was an ocelot or a serval.
What's that?
An ocelot is native to the U.S. and Mexico.
Okay.
It's like, imagine a mini leopard.
An ocelot?
Yeah.
That's such a cool name.
They'll murder you.
That's such a cool...
Imagine a weasel and a leopard had a baby.
Oh, I'm looking this up right now. What would I Google to find
ocelot?
This? But, I mean, it's like ocelot leopard, ocelot cat?
Just ocelot. That's what they're called.
Yeah, but then you'll get like revolver ocelot and... Oh, wait, ocelot animal. Here we go.
And then a serval... A serval's like a cheetah and a leopard had a baby. Very tall. Yeah.
Okay. This is awesome.
Yeah.
You know what? This makes sense now because one of my favorite games is called Metal Gear Solid. And one of the protagonists, the bad guys in the game, but he's in every single game. His name's Revolver Ocelot. He's kind of a main character / side character, but he is a main character in that whole scope of things. But in the third game of the series, it's like a prequel, like from way back. So he's like a young guy, and you can kill if you defeat him with a tranquilizer gun. You unlock like his special camouflage, and it's like big cat. It's this printing. It's Ocelot cat.
Wonder why.
I never knew that before, and now I understand.
So, in 1993, yet another puma was captured in Scotland around the Moors area.
The same area, another puma.
This is the fourth puma in 10 years captured around Loch Ness.
That's okay. So they're there. They're there. They're there for some reason. I mean, other than people releasing them, but... They congregate in this area, or this is just the third one that one lady... Fourth one that one lady just released, like all on her own. She had all these. Or they're breeding.
And this one ended up in another zoo.
Yeah. Dang. So Loch Ness is full of pumas?
Pumas.
And salamanders.
Pumas and giant salamanders. You look down at the water, you see a 30-foot salamander. You look up the hill, you see a mountain lion. You're like, this isn't a good area.
I need to go home.
This isn't a good area. I'm going to the pub.
Yeah. Some things are making sense.
I'm going inside. Yeah. That's where I'm going.
You need a big sword and just be like, there
can
be only one.
In 1996, the police in Fintoni?
Oh, you want me to try it? Or
No.
Okay.
Fintoni County,
There we go.
Traymore,
Where's this? In the UK?
Northern Ireland.
Northern Ireland.
Shot a cat.
Okay.
It was reportedly another serval, a mid-sized wild cat from Africa. Although the police report described it as a lynx.
What's the difference between a serval and a lynx?
A lot.
Okay.
A lot. There's no pictures of this cat. It was like Loveland Frogman.
Gotcha. They
Body
burnt,
destroyed really
burnt
quick.
it. Giant iguana.
How about 2001?
How about it?
The Beast of Burnett. A young female Eurasian lynx was captured alive by police and vets in Crinklewood, North London, after a chase across a school playing field. It was placed in the London Zoo and given the name Laura, before ultimately being transferred to a zoo in France to breed. The captured lynx was found to be only 18 months old, although considerably larger than the average domestic version.
So either these facilities can't contain lynx, they're too smart.
Lynx or pumas.
Yeah, clearly. Or they're whatever did escape, there's like a breeding population out there.
Huh. How
think-
odd.
Do you think that's what's going on?
Yes.
Really?
Well, give me a minute. I got one more, and then we'll talk.
Okay.
In November 2017, a trucker. You gotta love the truckers. Literally, these people that are driving all night. These are the people that see the weird stuff.
Mm-hmm.
A trucker claimed to have seen 3 highway workers struggling to lift a body of a dead 4-foot-long black panther into the bed of a truck in a lay-by near A1 near Harthworth. However, Highway England engineers responded with the statement saying that it was a dead black dog, and no further statements were issued.
I just don't get why. I mean,
'Cause
why?
England caused this. The government caused this to happen.
Yeah. So you think they're actively just trying to keep it quiet or
Yes.
covered up all the time?
Yes.
Just 2017.
Because this law, this Dangerous Wildlife Act,
Yeah.
had so much pushback. There was protest. There's all kinds of insane stuff happened.
Yeah.
And now, 20 years or
40.
I'm saying for most of these sightings.
Okay.
20 years later, the mid-90s, and they're kind of finding these big cats everywhere. The government, the people in power, caused this to happen.
Yeah.
Because they were trying to say that it was too dangerous to keep big cats in your backyard.
Yeah. Now, look.
Yes. So I 100% believe that's why the cover-up's happening.
Okay.
So let's talk. I have one picture to show you, and I'm sorry, everybody at home. But, Jay, what is that a picture of?
An ocelot.
That's a mountain lion. This was taken last year in a local park in the UK.
Really?
In Scotland, specifically. No, sorry, I'm wrong. Yorkshire Hill.
Okay. I think that's a pretty populated area.
Yes.
Pretty sure it is.
This park has around 1,000 people visited today.
Dang, and there's a big mountain lion.
There's a mountain lion there watching a guy taking photos of it.
Yeah.
The government issued that this photo was fake.
Why? I guess I know why, but
So I want to talk about let's talk about the 3 main suspects here. We have pumas, which AKA mountain lions, AKA cougars.
Okay.
All the same species. They're all just subspecies.
okay.
So it's pick whatever flavor you want for
Different phenotypes
that. Kinda.
ish.
Yeah. Yeah. The Canadian lynx or bobcat. It's interchangeable. Again, it's another subspecies of each other. Ones that can just basically the northern version of the other.
Can they all breed with each
Yes.
other? Okay.
The bobcats can breed with lynx, and all of the mountain lion subspecies can breed with each other.
Okay.
And then servals. It's a tall jaguar-like, cheetah-like cat. They are commonly kept here in the U.S. as pets. It's the biggest cat you can own without a permit in most states.
Okay.
They can be really fine and then be really evil in the same moment.
Interesting. Like all cats.
Yeah, but they're just big enough to actually do something about it.
Right. Yeah.
So, mountain lions. Let's start there. All the habitat ranges in the UK are perfect for mountain lions.
Okay.
Every habitat they present, from the swamps, that's what pumas love, to the highlands, that's what mountain lions love, to the forest and timberland, that's what cougars love.
Makes sense.
It all is perfect habitat. The weather patterns, the prey sources is great for them.
Yeah.
In 1976,
Yes.
a bunch of them were released. We have no idea of the actual number. Conservative estimates put it in the hundreds.
That's a lot.
Non-conservative estimates put it in the thousands.
That's a lot.
There is 100% of breeding population. There's 100%. These cats that they're seeing being released, are there's catching are either they may be the parents or they may be the ones that were released, especially because we're talking about most of the ones that caught were in the 90s.
Yeah.
So 20-ish years after the release. So sure, that could be these cats, were partially the captivity ones. They are breeding in the UK.
They'd have to be.
They are.
Yeah.
The big black cats in the UK are not the most seen one. There are, and we'll talk about them in a second. And now the Canadian lynx, bobcat.
Okay.
Even better suited.
To that area.
100%.
Yeah.
They would literally fit that same niche as the Scottish Highland wildcat. They're probably just better at it.
Well, yeah. They're bigger and faster, stronger.
And they have better parental care.
Ooh. Even a bigger factor.
Yes. They will, 100% believe. Literally, both pumas and Canadian lynxes keep getting caught in the same areas.
Right.
Because it's like there's a breeding population there, and you're catching the offspring every time.
No, some backyard farmer is releasing there.
Now, listen, there's a big difference between a Canadian lynx and a puma.
Yeah.
So I could see that more with a Canadian lynx, that people are legally importing them in, especially as cubs and stuff like that, and then they're getting out.
Every time.
I'm not saying every time, but I can get behind that happening for more modern sightings and stuff like that. Mountain lions are different. Pumas are different. Even at I think it's 4-month-old, they can be lethal.
Really?
Yeah. Dang. Yeah. It's not.
Why would anyone want that as a pet?
If you have the space, I get it.
But why?
The enrichment stuff, display it. I would, if I could afford it. If I could have the perfect habitat that I could enjoy watching the animal, I'd love to have a crocodilian.
Okay.
It's always been my dream. I'm never going to do it.
Why?
Because I can't afford it. I know it's for the animals' more well-being than mine.
Right.
I know I can't, at least in any time recent, I can't give it the space and the care and stuff it would need.
Gotcha.
But I would love just to watch a crocodilian in a natural-ish habitat that I built.
Okay.
So I get why I'm not a cat person, but I get a cat person enjoying that same thing for a big cat.
I mean, you know how cat people are, though. I mean, I've seen Tiger King. Both ends of the coin there.
So servals are one of the most traded cats in the illegal animal trade today.
Ooh, okay. The animal
African
black
wildcat,
market.
basically. Yeah.
Okay.
Which is the third biggest black market industry in the world.
Animals?
Yeah. They only come third to guns and drugs.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
That there might be a new one on the horizon or rising, and it's awful. Black market trade. That's for another show.
Oh. So yeah, this is crazy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it is, but it's not.
To me, it's this isn't a cryptid.
Right.
Because they have bodies. They know they're there. Literally, if you go to bigcatuk.com or .org, I'm sorry, bigcatuk.org, and if those guys ever listen to this, I'd love to have you guys on the show.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
Because you did an amazing job on your website. They have modern sightings, stuff like that. They have a map.
Sweet.
There are tons of pictures of people walking around. And they're like, there's a mountain lion there. And they take a picture.
Yeah.
There's a black cat. They take a picture. And half the pictures are house cats and half of them aren't. It's really easy to tell a big cat, like a panther or a jaguar, from a house cat. And you look at the tail proportions.
Mm-hmm. You taught me this one.
Yes. And it's super easy. Even though there's no size context in the background. Excuse me. It's tail compared to body.
Right. How long
and the stiffness of the tail and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Because they use it for, it's a completely different animal. Now let's talk about the black cats.
Just specifically black cats. The big ones.
Now, mountain lions are almost never melanistic.
Meaning?
All black.
Right. So almost never all black.
It's 1 in 10 million.
Okay.
So for it to be seen, and same goes for the U.S., for it to be seen very often, it's not happening.
Right.
There's not 10 million mountain lions left in the world.
Very small anomaly.
Yeah, there's not 10 million mountain lions left in the wild.
Right,
So
yeah.
there's not, for it to be 10 black cats would be extraordinary.
Right.
And we don't see mountain lions in general, so for them to be the ones we're seeing is the black ones. That's crazy. There is a species of big cat, though, that kind of has like a 1 in 3 or 1 in 2 black variant. It's not melanistic.
Cheetah?
Yeah. No, there are darker cheetahs, but no, it's the jaguar.
Jaguar, that's what it was.
Jaguars have like every 1 in, I think it's 1 in 3 cubs are black.
Huh.
And that's a phenotype. There you go.
Yes.
And it's so they don't co-compete.
Right, with each
So
other.
mom can produce 2 cubs, one of the yellow variety, one of the black variety. The yellow variety is more apt at hunting during the day and stuff like that, and the black one's more apt at hunting at night. So the cubs aren't co-competing in similar areas.
Man, Mother Nature's nuts.
It is. And they are native to colder climates. They are fine with cold weather. People get this idea of them being jungle cats, which they are. They are, they do inhabit the jungles and the deserts of Mexico,
Ooh, okay.
the high mountain ranges of Mexico. Here in the U.S., they inhabited some very cold regions.
Where at?
So that's a very argued thing. It depends on whose map you want to use. I think they're all the way up into Ohio and maybe even to Michigan a little bit.
That'd be scary.
Are
Are jaguars the fast ones?
No.
That's the cheetah.
They're just a different colored mountain lion.
Oh, okay. Just still deadly.
Yeah. No, don't get me
But
wrong.
not-
If they're mad at you, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
That's a bad deal.
Or if they're hungry, or if they're in a tree right above your neck.
I don't think big cats specifically avoid humans.
Yeah. Well, I wonder why.
Yeah. Cats are amazing at weighing cost and reward. Mm-hmm. So there's literally videos of mountain lions killing 900-pound elk. Like there's that video of a one doing it on somebody's porch. Dang. It's like a 150-pound
I've seen
cat.
that. Yeah.
A 150-pound cat killing a 900-pound elk.
Yeah.
And it does it. And they don't attack people very regular.
Yeah.
Because it's just not worth it.
They know.
Yeah, they do.
They don't want these mitts
They
wrapped
don't
around
want
that
the
neck.
heat.
Yeah.
They don't want the heat that comes afterwards.
Right, exactly. The heat's my fists.
So that's what do you think about the big cats of Europe?
I mean, it all kind of makes. I'm not shocked or surprised at all. The craziest thing is they're saying it's not here. It's not a problem. They're non-existent.
And it's because the government. It's all the government's fault.
Yeah.
It's really, and there has been black cat sightings for 1,000 years in Europe.
Yeah.
But the numbers were like they would have 1 or 2 sightings a year until 1976, and now they have 2,000 to 3,000 sightings a year. 2,000 to 3,000 sightings of big cats a year.
Yeah, I think the craziest part about all this is that they're not acknowledging it or admitting it, or
They're going out of their way to say that every one of these cats would just escape from a facility.
Yeah, or it's a house cat, or it's a dog, or it's just something crazy. That's what's nuts about all this.
Because they would be in it would be crazy how wrong they would because all those people, especially in the 90s, more in the 90s and stuff like that, those people were still in power.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So they're the ones that pushed this law saying, you guys are irresponsible. You guys are going to cause.
Yeah.
Here's the new law.
Give us your money.
Yeah. And I'm like, all right.
Bye.
I got a whole bunch of empty cages.
Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna.
My neighbor down the road doesn't have sheep anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, government can't ever appear to have made mistakes or be not the smartest ones in the room.
Government, yeah. So specifically, the UK government pushed this, and this was the first act that pushed a big thing here in the U.S. It's been a ton of fight back. They've tried to strip the exotic animal community here in the U.S., and I do believe in rules. I do believe in safety stuff.
Yeah.
I love my exotic animals, but there should be level. I do agree with levels, but the way they did it was so on the other end.
Yeah.
Was insane.
Arbitrary, or is that the right word? No, that's not the right
Absurd.
word. Absurd. There we go.
Yeah, because the amount of money per cat.
Yeah.
And no grandfather clause and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. They just tried to Tiger King everybody.
Yeah. And Ohio is one of the worst states for exotic animal laws.
Yeah.
And the animals they pick on are so weird. Like mine have always been is green anacondas. And they pick on big snakes in particular. I get it. Big snakes are scary to people. If it gets out, it's dead. It's dead.
Yeah.
If you get eaten by your own big snake.
Unless it makes it into its own abandoned house and starts eating everything in it, and
that's a rattlesnake.
Oh, okay.
But no, I'm
Not
talking pythons. I'm talking constrictors. But the green anaconda specifically is out of the rock pythons, reticulated pythons, that kind of stuff, has the lowest number of attacks and the lowest. They're just not that. That's not their mindset.
It's that movie.
It is.
Anaconda
It is the movie did it. They villainized them.
It did.
It's not their mindset. People have, snakes don't, for example, don't have emotions like mammals do. Mm-hmm. But I do think they have some level of at least understanding with with a human taking care of them and stuff like that. Not saying that big snake won't eat you, because I do think it will.
Right, like the people.
It's a reptile. It's a reptile. Let's be straight up.
People have snakes as pets, and they'll let them like sleep in their beds with them. Then one day they wake up in their stomach.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a 16, 19-foot snake, you understand your own risk.
Right. Yeah.
But no, there should be laws. But this was a set of laws that changed the world and has affected many other countries, let alone the UK. Mm-hmm. In the US, it's insane the amount of fallback it's had, because they pushed this, and then the US started following suit, saying, yeah, we have all these people with dangerous animals in their backyard. We need to start doing stuff about it, without looking at the fallout that happened in the UK.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta look at history, or it'll repeat itself.
I really think, the skunk ape we've talked about on this show, I really think is released some kind of, whether bonobos or something. I don't think it's Bigfoot.
Yeah.
I really don't think it's Bigfoot. I think it's an ape that we released.
I'd like to know how many wild animals, like escaped circus animals, sideshow attractions.
Look at the kangaroos that pop up in almost every state. And now we're finding out wallabies can handle the cold.
Right, yeah. That's
kangaroos can.
And literally there's a
gray kangaroos, not reds.
Okay.
So reds are the one you think about that are out showing off these big monsters.
Yeah, they're big.
The grays
muscles.
are much more shy. They still are large. They're the second largest species of kangaroo, but they are much more shy. They're much more elusive, and they don't live in as big of colonies.
Okay, makes more sense. What kind of kangaroos did that farm? Not too far from here, when it was still active. Okay. Yeah,
I'm gonna say probably reds.
Literally a kangaroo farm within a half an hour of us.
They used to do ostriches, emus,
and now they're closed. I wonder what happened. I'm sure they just donated them all to some zoo. I'm sure all of them, every single one. I'm sure not any of them escaped or got out ever. I'm sure. I'm playing the government part right now.
Yeah.
But geez, I would not, if there was a kangaroo and around us, just you stumbled across it or something hopped in your backyard, I guess I wouldn't be too terribly shocked knowing that thing was literally right down the road. It's been closed for a while now, and relatively speaking, it hasn't been that long. But it's just nuts. It was a big kangaroo farm. They had kangaroos,
big operation,
on their metal gates out front to get in, and it's right down the road.
So I guess the point of this episode is to show it's the UK government.
Yep, you're busted.
Everything from the start to finish of this episode has been the UK government's fault.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that.
And I don't blame. So there is fault to be had on the exotic animal owners in the 70s. But they were I may be getting the numbers off a little bit, but I think it was $15,000 per animal to give up your animal.
Yeah.
$25,000 a year to keep your animal, and that was your options.
Well, it's not their fault. It's not their fault.
They're not free. And it was not illegal to release your animal into the wild until the 80s.
If it was a financial thing, you were basically forced to do that.
Yes, any crime that has a financial penalty is a crime for poor people.
Basically, yeah. I agree with that. Yeah.
All right. I've been the great and powerful mystery.
I've been a certain clone today, Jay.
And thank you for joining us on this episode. Remember, share the show with your friends. Have a good week. And we love you guys. Bye. Thank you for listening to the Cryptids of the Corn podcast.
Please share with a friend you think would like us. It's the best way to help our show grow.
Leave a comment, rate us, a 5-star review, and remember, there is always extra content on Patreon/cryptidsofthecorn.com.
And don't forget, stay magical.
With one of the best savings rates in America, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than choosing Slash to be in your band.
Next up for lead guitar. You're in.
Cool. Yep, even easier than that. And with no fees or minimums on checking and savings accounts, is it even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.